Hello, hello. Welcome in to episode 11 of Laura's Lively Spirit Speak. I am scrolling through comments so I can see who all's here. So I'm going to say hellos before we bring in my guest and do a little housekeeping. So, Sarah, ESP, hello, hello. Rochelle, hello, Charlotte. Hello, Teresa. Offbeat, hey guys. Looks like we have Dukers in the house. And Danny, Ozark Paranormal, hello. Welcome in. Thank you everyone for joining. Mama Drews, hey Mama Drews. I think that is everyone. So while I'm thinking of it, I am wearing my Ashmore t-shirt today. Can you guys see it? Ashmore States, yeah. So if you didn't know, Ashmore took a hit last week from a tornado, and the building has some roof damage, some brick damage. And our friends over at Offbeat Paranormal decided to run a fundraiser where you buy the very cool t-shirt designed by them, and all the proceeds go to Ashmore to help them out with the repairs to the building. So if you haven't yet, please go over, check out Offbeat Paranormal and get yourself a t-shirt so you can help Robin and Ashley with repairs to their buildings. And we appreciate you guys so much for doing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, my guests tonight are Paranormal Triage, and they are, oh, it looks like Rob is here too. Hey, Natalie, I see you too. My guests tonight are Paranormal Triage, and they are from Shasta Lake, California, Northern California. And they are Ryan and Brenda, and they're a fun couple. We were on their pod, Eric and I, in April, I think. And we had a pretty interesting conversation. And I said, "Oh, you guys will have to come on mine so we can continue the conversation and you won't have to run run the podcast." So they graciously agreed. And I'm going to go ahead and bring them up now so they can. I feel abandoned and lost. Sorry, Eric. Eric from ESP. I feel abandoned and lost. I didn't mean it. Uh-oh. HR department, please state your complaints. These folks in the chat, I'm telling you. They crack me up. So hi guys, thank you for coming. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, excited.
Absolutely. So tell us, because I had to do some looking, tell us about Paranormal Triage and where Shasta Lake is. I know it's northern, but I don't know exactly, like up and where.
So Shasta Lake, most people, if you know anything about California, would kind of think of it as like the Redding area, right? So Sacramento, the capital of the state, unfortunately, you go north about 3 hours up the state, and you'll run into a little town called Redding, and then just north of that is Shasta Lake. It's called Shasta Lake because it's the giant Lake Shasta and Shasta Dam, and that is the reservoir that basically feeds all the farmland throughout the whole state, right? So the water comes off Big Mount Shasta, and that's the farmland water for all the agriculture in the state of California.
So when you hear NorCal, we're the real NorCal.
Yeah, we're
real
closer to Oregon than we are to the state capital of California. So think of it that way.
Wow. Do you guys get droughts there? Like, is it the drought or is it more southern?
We do have the drought. I think it's more of a, like a scare tactic for us because we got the big body of water right next door, right? So they call it the drought because it affects the southern side of the state, but we typically have water year round.
Yeah.
Well, good. So tell us about Paranormal Triage. When did you guys start your team? I know you had other members, right? Is it just you two now, or you still have your others that join you?
We still have other people that join us, our investigators, but as far as podcasting and stuff like that, it's just us two. It's kind of hard to get everybody into one place to podcast and stuff like that. And they're great investigators, but yeah, it's just kind of us for the most part.
We have like kind of our core group of people that do the investigation, and people that kind of come here and there depending on kind of the nature of what we're doing, right? We collaborate a lot with a lot of different people, so we work with a lot of different teams when we can. So I'd say it's probably like a core five that do investigating, including us, and then it's usually like 3 or 4 of us at a time, depending on what type of investigation we're doing.
Sure. based off location. If it's like a bigger one, you need more
Mhm.
folks, or yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So you guys are pretty much the lead investigators.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, if
Okay,
that's what you want to
and
call it.
Well, I'm the lead. I'll take the lead.
She's the lead. I just kind of follow.
So it actually just started out us two, and then we had friends who were like, "Oh, we want to do what you do." So then we let them come into the group, and now they come, like he said, went depending on the location and what we need. So
nice.
but
And how many years have you guys been doing that?
Oh man, when did we actually start? I think it would have been probably like what 18, 19 is when we actually started.
I think
and
we're
then-
going on about 4 years. I would say
Oh,
we're probably
nice.
into our 4th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's, yeah, I mean, it seems like around that time there was a lot of people who were like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I'm going to start a team and start going out and booking these locations, or just go into these locations and doing it for themselves instead of watching the people do it on TV, right? Like,
yeah, I think we beat this comment to death. It's when COVID hit, we were all binge watching. We watched everything.
yes.
I was a big Tiger King fan.
Who wasn't?
And I skipped that show like 100 times, and then finally it was like the last on the list. I'm like, well, I guess I better watch it. And then I was there. But then we were all already kind of watching Ghost Adventures, so it kind of started in there, and then because of some life stuff that happened, then that's
It
when
just
it
kind of exploded into what we do now.
Yeah.
Do what you do. Okay. And you guys are fire EMS, right? And
Mhm.
Yes.
how many years have you guys, I mean, I'm assuming you met doing that, right?
Yes.
I'm just assuming. Okay.
You assumed right.
Here I go.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, how does that kind of, did it prepare you? I was looking for the word that I wanted for some of the paranormal. Does that,
When you look back in time, so retrospectively, yes, it's prepared, because we're used to dealing with crazy stuff, right? And in a way, my personal experience. I got 26 years on the job as a firefighter and EMS, and I think Brenda's are like 13, 14 years total.
About 15, yeah.
Kind of combination between fire department and working ambulance jobs. Yeah, we met actually teaching. We both used to help teach in the EMT program at the local junior college. That's where we met.
wow.
So yes, it's prepared us because we're so used to the crazy stuff. But in a way, it's kind of bad because we're so desensitized, right? So I kind of have to. You train yourselves to acknowledge the crazy thing happening behind you, but you're still focused on your job because we're so focused on the patient or the fire, whatever we're dealing with.
Sure.
This thing over here, it's like we just let other people do it. So that's been kind of like the thing we have to kind of remember, that if I'm not reacting to something, someone else has to. So it's kind of cool that other members on our team are not first responders, so they react a little bit different. So it's a good
Right.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind of round each other out with that.
Yeah, we
I
don't
was gonna-
jump too often. I mean, if we happen to jump or cuss or do something that
Then it's really scary.
that's something really got our attention.
Something
Which is
really
weird, 'cause
drastic
she
has
can-
happened.
She could come around the corner in the kitchen and startle me all day, and I jump, and it's pretty hilarious and funny. But when we're investigating, I'm so like, the single
Focused.
track mind of what I'm doing, because I kind of go into the first responder mode of focused, that I don't react that way. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
So
gotta like that
Ryan says
mustache.
that's
Yeah.
the best mustache. I
It's
think Eric
okay.
said that too.
There's better mustaches out there.
Take the compliment, Ryan. Just take the compliment.
I mustache you.
I was gonna say, watching you guys, you always seem pretty just like calm and collected. You know what I mean? Like just real even keel when you're like when you go into your investigation. Compared to some people who are all over the place and jump scares
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. It's not our forte, but it's to each their own.
Hmm.
So I commend you for that. I like that style of like, we're going in this with a purpose and and a mission, and everything is just calm until it's not, if something really crazy happens. So I like that. Now you guys, you have the grandson, right? Is it grandson that you're starting to take on investigations?
A little bit. We're pretty particular what we expose him to. The 3 kids that we have, they're very aware of what we do, and I think they have a little bit more going on than they would like to tell, especially John. But But yeah, we let him go to specific locations if they're not too scary, you know.
Good, good. So you are a believer, and I kind of feel like abilities and paranormal is like a generational thing, like it's passed
Hmm.
on. So to bring the children in and expose them to it slowly, and say it's not always scary, and because a lot of
Hmm.
people don't believe and they don't want their children to watch things like that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's just my opinion again.
Yeah,
But no, I like that. I like that because how else are they gonna learn?
yeah.
Are they gonna learn from
Absolutely.
TikTok? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine? But yeah. So we have to think of our next generation of hunters,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And respect for locations, and not everything is demonic as some would like to believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of
It's,
one of our pet peeves, the whole demonic
mm,
Yeah. I can't.
yeah.
opinions.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, we talked about a little of that when we were on your podcast about
Hmm.
how
Yeah.
some people think that every single thing is demonic, and I just I can't with that.
Yeah.
What
The things we
what do
don't
they
let our
say?
kids do. The one thing that when we do presentations and stuff, we talk about Ouija boards and kids and being involved in all of that. We try to discourage parents from that. Our kids will probably never own a Ouija board or anything like
Mm,
that. That's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It's one thing, like you said, slowly expose them, bring them in, show them the right way, teach them the right way, and they don't need to learn off of other stuff. But then if you start bringing in those things that are very complicated, adult type things, obviously you're not going to do that for any subject matter for your children, right? So we preach very much to be careful and to understand that this is more than just pointing a camera and catching a light anomaly. This is really true things that have spiritual meaning. They have deep meanings for a lot of people. The history, the respect you have to have, and that's more important than just playing with a fun board that has letters on it.
Yeah.
right. I agree. So Sarah said, "What you mean there aren't all demons?" Well, again, it depends on who you talk to. So you're that area. You guys, you've done caves. What you mean
Yes.
there aren't all
Yeah.
demons? So we've never investigated a cave. Um, and I think it would be really fun, but caves creep me out.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it's like the ultimate dark part, because obviously we all go in the dark and you shut the lights off, right? But is it the because it's underground? Like I don't know, something about caves just freaked me out.
Well,
So tell
we're
me,
not doing the teeny tiny caves where you got to get on
Yeah.
your
okay,
stomach and
We're
crawl.
not
I would never do that.
spelunkling through caverns. Yeah,
No.
we're not.
you're not splunking.
No.
No, I think maybe that's the part. Like when I think cave, I'm like, no. And bats.
Yeah.
How many
We
bats do
didn't
you come
see very
across?
many bats. We didn't really see bats when we were in there.
I've seen pigeons.
Yeah, there was more pigeons than there were bats, which is weird. But this is a little bit different. It wasn't like a normal cave. It's a lava tube, right? And it was giant. I mean, you could drive like two semi trucks through it. I mean, you're
Oh
talking,
wow.
50 feet, by probably 80 feet tall in some places. Matter of fact, we were climbing over boulders that were, the size of Volkswagens, right, in
Yeah.
certain spots. So you're kind of going over and around and navigating through it. It's huge. So the
Wow. Okay.
claustrophobic or the small part of it,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that
Kind of doesn't.
Not
It just
really.
goes
yeah,
away. No. You're more
Okay.
concerned about because all the rocks are jagged because it's lava rock
Mm.
yeah,
and it's sharp and it hurts and it cuts really well.
yeah,
Sounds like you
yeah.
know from experience.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Accident prone me would definitely hurt myself. Um, Duker says the acoustics in the cave would make my hero song sound amazing. They're so
Probably so.
high.
The acoustics weren't too bad, honestly. Like, there's so many rocks and stuff in there to where it's not just all flat surfaces. It's broke up enough that it really wasn't too echoey. It really wasn't. It was actually pretty quiet and peaceful.
Yeah. It was pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I wondered. We sang. I think "Stand by Me" or "Lean on" in Death. Was it Death Row? Yeah, we were on the bottom bottom row of Death Row at Missouri State Penitentiary, and I have to tell you, the acoustics are pretty amazing down there.
Yeah. Those concrete walls, they got it going on.
It was a lot of fun. I have to. It was, yeah. Um, So, along with the caves, what about the land out there? Like, do you think there's specific areas that have spirits because of uh-oh, I saw the look at each other.
Well, it's the look is
It,
because it's very multi-layered,
it's Mount Shasta.
right? So that specific lava tube is underneath or just underneath, kind of adjacent to Mount Shasta, which is a giant mountain, right? Matter of fact, you have to have a special
Mhm.
helicopter to fly to the top because,
It's a volcano. It's a
and it's a volcano,
it's an
right?
active
So
volcano.
the volcanic aspect of it adds some different energy, right? When you start talking about spirituality things, it can. There's a lot of folklore behind volcanic stuff. They say you shouldn't take volcanic rocks home, type of thing.
Mhm.
It could be bad luck. And then you
Mhm.
add there's a massive, massive native connection to that specific land,
Yeah.
right? And then that spreads throughout California. Now, obviously, the native connection is all over the United States, right? But there
Mhm.
is some very special, kind of deep rooted native spirituality all along kind of California. And that is kind of epicentered in Mount Shasta,
Hmm.
right? So if you think of that as like the hot spot, maybe 10 out of 10 energy, and then it just kind of
Mhm.
spreads out from there. Kind of where we're at would be probably like a six, right? So it slowly kind of decreases out. If you really think about how like the spirituality of the native folklore around here. So yes, and it's multi-layered because you've got different types of native tribes. There's several different tribes that kind of have stake claim to that area.
Yeah.
So there's kind of some battling there, in the 1800s. From the history we could find, there's definitely battling. There is, the kind of the UFO, side of things that's
Mhm.
really, really big up there, which is also kind of connected to some of the native folklore.
And that's where the Lemurians
So,
come into play, is the whole
yeah.
alien. They believe there's an alien pad on the top of Mount Shasta where they land.
Oh,
Yeah, so they
okay.
believe like if you Google Mount Shasta and lenticular clouds, you'll see like these UFO saucer looking clouds. And a lenticular cloud is a specific type of cloud that happens
Hmm.
based on the atmosphere and the pressures,
Mhm.
and it's not rare for us, but it is rare, right? So anywhere else around the country it's pretty rare. But over the top of Mount Shasta it happens on a regular basis,
Yeah.
right? These
I can
perfectly
see that.
shaped
Right.
saucers, right? So the story is that that's basically the cloak to allow the saucer to land and load and unload into the mountain.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stories, even in the Native American culture, where they say they've seen ships fly in and out of the side of the mountain. Like the mountain will open
Oh,
up and they'll go in and come out,
okay.
go in and come
Mhm.
out.
And that's stuff that we found from the history back, early 1900s, where those accounts were. So that's before technology. That's before people are filming stuff.
Right, right.
You know. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. It's
So,
very, very multi-layered.
do you guys believe that it's an alien pad up there on the top?
I don't
Is it a
necessarily think there's an
possibility?
alien pad. And no, we have not been to Yosemite, whoever asked that yet, but we're working on it. But
We haven't investigated Yosemite. We've camped there, but we haven't investigated Yosemite.
I mean, there's more to it. I mean, there could be. There's also what they call the Lost City inside of Mount Shasta, which is called the city of Lemuria.
It's
Um,
yeah, Lemuria or Talos.
Talos, yeah. So that goes back to the stories of what's the city underwater?
Goes back to Atlantis,
Atlantis, yeah.
Atlantis.
right? So Lemuria and Atlantis, the story goes that they were two kind of continents there close together, and they were having this battle, right? And that was
Mhm.
this. The technology they had was crazy technology and very advanced and all this stuff, and they basically extinct their battle. They killed each other off. Atlantis sunk into the ocean. Lemuria disappeared, and the Lemurians had to find a new place to live, so they inhabited the inside of Mount Shasta. That's the
Oh,
story, right? And that's why we went into what they call the Pluto Caves, the lava tube, so we could so-called find the door, which they said is at the end of this cave.
hmm.
And it also, the town of Mount Shasta also facilitates, I guess you could call it a cult like following called the I Am. They're the I Am people, and they believe in the town, the
They believe
Talos
in
and ascending and all that.
ascended powers, and that not necessarily alien life forms, but that you can become one within your energy yourself, within Mother Nature, and ascend into the heavens uh,
Huh.
through the city of Talos inside the mountain.
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I guess you could equate it to similar to the Bermuda Triangle. There's so many crazy things that happen that are unexplainable. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I necessarily 100% believe that there's extraterrestrials flying in and out of there, but it's plausible
But
because there's so much
there are
Sure.
36 missing people in
Oh,
that area.
with
That-
zero trace,
Yeah.
zero trace, nothing.
wow.
The most recent being what, like a year ago now?
2 years ago was the most recent. Yeah,
One of his students.
one of my students at the fire
Oh,
academy just went up there and has never been seen again.
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So that, yeah, I can see the lure. I can see why. And yeah, it would definitely keep you coming back for the mystery. I get that.
Yeah.
hmm
Absolutely.
And we also have Bigfoot and the giants. Like they've had evidence of giants there, Bigfoot. We have it all up there.
yeah.
You got it all. You just come to Mount Shasta. You got it all. So I don't know exactly how it would. Eric and I were talking about this the other night. We were talking about, spirits tied to land, right? So what if this land was raised, and the dirt moved off, right? And taken completely away. Do you think that spirit energy is tied to the dirt, or is it deeper than that?
Okay. Well, again, multi-layered, right? So the dirt is the dirt, right? But where did the dirt come from? What is dirt? Dirt is rock that's crumbled up and broken, right? And the rock is the sediment of time, right? So if you go through the layers, if you dig down 100 feet, you're going to find the dirt from whatever, 500 years ago. I have no idea. I'm just kind of making a number, for example, right? So you would have to scrape it all the way down to the core of the earth, right? Because at some point, Earth had to start. So I don't
Right.
think you could necessarily remove enough of the dirt or rock or sediment to get rid of whatever energy is connected to that.
To it, right. So on that same token, when you remove, like, let's just say 5 feet, right? If you went down 5 feet and removed that and you took it somewhere else, do you think the spirits are now tied to wherever you took it as well? Part of them?
Uh,
It could be. I mean, I used to live in Hawaii. Hawaii's kind of a fine example of not taking things. I think I'm going to date myself here. If you ever watched the Brady Bunch and they went to Hawaii and what's his name? Greg took the rock
Greg?
and then he was all had bad luck and stuff. There are theories that if you take certain lava rock from their sacred areas, yes, it will take a spirit with you or
With
bad
you.
luck. So yeah, I mean, just depends on the culture.
I also think that it depends on the extent of the energy that was exposed to, right? So people, I guess you could relate this to like trauma. Someone experiences trauma, there are different levels of the experience, right? So the surrounding earth, dirt, all that stuff would also be exposed to that trauma. Think about the Indian wars, soldiers killing Indians, Indians killing each other, that type of stuff, bloodshed happening on the land, right? There would be the extent of that trauma and how much it is kind of impregnated into the soil.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that
Right.
would depend on how much you would have to remove to take it with it, or if it would be angry that you moved
Yes.
it.
Although I did
Yes.
take a rock from Boot Hill Graveyard in Tombstone, and I think I've been okay since then.
Oh, who knows?
Some people sent their rocks back, but I have yet. I lost.
Let's see, we're the wrong kind of people to be a gauge or a compass for that, because we're constantly going into weird paranormal
That's true.
scenarios.
We're not normal, so
I get
Doesn't
it.
count.
We're not either. See, this is our Tuesday night conversations. We're like, do you think that the land and the dirt? I mean, that's just the way it is around here.
Yeah.
I think it's normal. It's normal for us anyway. So with that, I can tell you guys do a lot of research. Who's the one that does most of the history research when you're going to locations, or do you both enjoy it?
I think we do it at different times.
Yeah.
We never really sit down together very often and do it.
It's not organized. Our schedules and our lives aren't organized, right? I mean, I work a rotating weird schedule with the fire department. So I don't work the same days of the week. I work 48 hours at a time. So there's, 2 days a week
I
I'm
see.
gone. Right. So and with the kids and everything, I think it's kind of like, she calls me and, hey, I found this out.
Yeah.
Or, 3:00 in the morning, I
Right.
can't sleep after a call. All right, well, I'll just research it there.
Yeah.
And just somehow we just magically come together and figure it out.
You make it work. You make it work. That's all. That's what matters. So I'm gonna kind of move into this whole I had no idea until yesterday, I'm gonna be quite honest, that you guys were on Ghost Adventures. I had
Hmm.
no idea. Eric and I were like, "Let's find out, all we can." And he said, "Did you know?" And I was like, "I had no idea." And so I had to watch it, and I my first thought was, "Please tell me your initial thoughts for these folks when they showed up at your door."
Well, when this all started, this was okay. So this was like the inception of us becoming Paranormal Triage. We had bought my grandson a camera, and it was just a crappy little camera. And as we were watching ghost shows, we started filming in our house. And so we started capturing things in a stupid camera. And then Ghost Adventures threw their spin-off House Calls. And we were kind of
Mhm.
laughing about it, going, hey, let's send in our little orbs that we think we're catching or whatever. And not really thinking that they would ever call us. But it was
Mhm.
happening quite a bit. And there were some other things with me going on. And so we sent the video in and they emailed us. And I'm like, no way. And I was almost kind of embarrassed because it was like, oh, they're going to come in here and it's just
They're
not
not
going to
going
be
to
the
see
worth their
anything.
time.
Yeah.
So, and we told them that, and he goes, well, do you have any more? And we're like, well, yeah, we have more stuff. And they're like, well, we want to see it. So we sent more stuff in. And we're, and the guy that calls you to do all this, their investigator or their historian guy, he's like,
Mhm.
no, this is real. I've been doing this a long time, and they want to come to your house. And we're like, okay. And they're like, well, don't investigate your house anymore. We're like, all right. So, and still, I'm not convinced that they're coming. I'm like, this something's going to happen. A better story's going to come along,
Right,
and this was
right.
at the time that we started experiencing our own stuff because my dad had passed away. We brought his ashes home.
Mhm.
We had a lot of stuff happening then, um, and then we brought my daughter's ashes home, and then things got, I can't say worse,
Intense.
but got busier, got
Mhm.
more interesting. And then my daughter's half sister brought their dad's ashes to my house, and that's when everything got negative. So because he wasn't a very good person, so they told us not to investigate, but we had bought a new camera, a better camera, because we
Mhm.
wanted to know more, and we're like, okay, we're not going to investigate, and the video I sent to you, that is what we
Mhm.
captured. We were bored. It was 3 days before they were coming, and this event happened, and we're like, oh my God. So we didn't tell them anything about that until they got here.
Mhm.
So in-house calls, Zach does not come. It's Billy, um,
Right. Jay,
Jay and Billy and Aaron.
Aaron. Mhm.
But the crew came first, and the producers, which were great people. They were awesome. The whole crew. They usually hire people in the community that they're coming to film.
Hmm.
Um, so they were really, really cool people.
Yeah, all the production that I had no idea that they do this, but all the production, other than the producers, like the sound guys, the lights, that kind of stuff, people that operate cameras, move their equipment around, all comes from local unions, right? So a lot
Hmm.
of the people came from the Bay Area, San Francisco. They were like a couple-hour drive, to where we were at, right?
Mhm.
The core, the producers, and the guys themselves, they came from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
And
yeah,
they were very
I
cool,
am.
very respectful. They just
they
seemed
are
to,
who they are, right? They're, I mean, every one of them, that's their personality.
yeah.
Like there's nothing faked about it. There was no, like, that whole crew that we experienced was,
Mhm.
it's pretty genuine.
Yeah, they were all really cool. So when we told them about the video, they're like kind of had the attitude, it's like, well, we've seen enough. We know there's something going on here. We don't need to see no more. And I'm like, no, you have to watch this. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they kind of like, all right, let's go sit down and watch it. And when they seen this video, they immediately made me download it and send it to Zach. And
Hmm.
they were actually 2 hours late starting the investigation because I'm sure they tore this video apart.
I'm trying to
And,
debunk.
and they do like a pre visit. They
Yeah.
came in like the day before and all this stuff, and they check out your house and do things. And there's stuff that you have to do to your whole house. You
Mm.
copyright stuff. You got to
Cover everything.
cover everything that might have to
Gotcha.
give them a copyright issue. So they kind of like come in and like fix your house for you.
Yeah.
Well, at least they
Gotcha.
tell you what
Before
they
they
want you to
start.
do, and then they check it and get an idea and feel of it. And when we showed them that, they were like, okay, and yeah, they
Hmm.
they spent some time try to tear it apart to see what they can do. And the funny thing is, I mean, well, it's not really funny, but when you watch the episode, they captured something very similar in our
Mhm.
hallway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
right?
saw
And you
that.
can really
Mhm.
see that when Zach does his kind of final thing with us
Yes. Yes.
over Skype, which is weird. I don't know why people still use Skype anymore, but that's what he used.
Well, bless their hearts. I guess my thought was, do you feel like they tried to make you more animated than what you truly were for
Okay,
the
I
show?
could probably speak to that because I probably was the most animated one there, besides besides Aaron. So to
Oh,
go back to what did we expect from the guys were exactly what you see on TV. Aaron's personality is he's very hyper. That is him,
mhm.
100%. There's nothing fake
Oh
about
yeah,
him.
he freaked out when the
Um,
ice machine dropped some ice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Billy is exactly what he is. He was, they were very concerned and very understanding and they were very gentle with everything. I'll just say that. And Jay, he's the tech guy, so he's very techie.
Mhm.
Jay is just
Mhm.
what he is. But as far as the dramatics, like as far as the story goes, if you the show came on and you were listening to it and not really paying attention, you would think that my daughter was a devil worshiper because that's what
Right?
this
That's
was
what I
That's
was
the
based around.
spin. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was a little
That's what I was
upset by
getting at.
that at first,
Mhm.
but then I had to
Mhm.
watch it a couple times and kind of bring myself down a little bit because, for one, it is entertainment. What they do is
Mhm.
entertainment, but what they do is also very real as well. They're business
Right.
people. They have a show. They had it. They had it, and they got famous. So I had to give them a little bit of grace on that. I knew what I was getting myself into. I was a little worried, and yeah, I was a little irritated. But at the end of the day, it's still entertainment. And I had to remind myself that.
And we are who we are, right? So the people who know us, our friends and family and people in the community, they know who we are.
Yeah.
And most of them know what we do, right? There is no
Mhm.
secrets,
Yeah.
right? They know about our family history. They know about her daughter's history. They know about all of that because it's been very public, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Brenda's been
Mhm.
speaking in front of the kind of politics and county boards and stuff about those issues for years and years and years, right? So everyone knows us. They are true, genuine, honest. The way they investigated, nothing of that was set up. Nothing was faked. Everything was a real paranormal investigation. How they spun it for their entertainment is what they do, right? The producers were very
Yeah.
good, and we didn't get that sense until we watched it ourselves.
And they
Yeah.
and they
I was
didn't
gonna say
push
you
us
had
to
no
do
idea.
anything. Like they didn't push us. They wanted to talk to the kids because John had some experiences and the girls had some experiences, but they were a lot younger than they are right now because that was what
Mhm.
That was
3
a
years
while ago,
ago.
yeah.
But they were
Three,
very
yeah.
respectful about us not wanting to push them to
Yeah.
tell stories. So they did respect that fact.
Mm-hmm.
As far as being animated, like I said, at the time we had 3 sets of ashes in the house.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure that we have a gateway in our house that we were unaware of because somebody also passed away in this house before we bought it. And we sit
Yes.
on
Yes.
very, very deep Native American land. So I kind of think that I had an attachment going right before they came. It started and it got really bad. And our kids were pointing out stuff in the house. And Judith, who is our youngest, she would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning just rattled. Just rattled.
Yeah, she would, and John would talk about seeing a shadow and teeth and things like that. Stuff that's not
Mm.
kind of it's alarming when we think about it, right?
Mhm. Right.
But really, what it comes down to, I guess, to kind of be comical about it would be camera angles, right?
Yeah.
So everything that happened, right? But then the way that they kind of slow things down, have the camera angles, make it dramatic. We all could do that if we wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and we have
I-
a theory as to what happened to Jay, and I don't think it had anything to do with Brenda. I really,
I did not attack Jay, by the way.
I was gonna
That-
say all I could.
That I did
I
not
laughed.
attack Jay. If I wanted to attack
like-
Jay, he'd be on the floor. No, that's the attachment that I had was really kind of unexplainable. And yeah, I was kind of having some very aggressive behavior that I had to keep in check all the time, even like towards my kids. Like the smallest thing would just freak me out and I'd be just
Such a-
a bear. So I don't know. There was something about Jay, and I was sitting on the love seat just across from him, and I don't know. I just literally I just got up and walked over to him and I said, "Look, I can't get better if you don't get better. I'm not like that. I don't touch people. I'm very insecure." And that, especially when it comes to people that you think are famous, I could barely even talk to them when they were in the house. So,
I know. They just made you have to be some aggressive woman who want to come at him like a banshee and
yeah, and it
grab him.
so was not that. And honestly, I don't have an explanation for it. They kept asking me why, and I said, well, I don't have a reason. I think I had an attachment at the time. I had a hard time letting them come into my house from the very beginning. Things were kosher, knowing they were coming, and then all of a sudden I just shut down. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. So,
I
did
think
not
it was
attack
more of a spiritual connection as to why you wanted to contact, more of like an empathy type of
Yes.
feeling and connection out of it than wishing anybody any kind of harm or anything like that. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
and we can get into our thoughts about some the other video that we had kind of sent you, but
Yes.
her daughter Leanne, we truly believe might still be, or at the time 100%, her energy and spirit and essence was in this house at that time. And Jay was in the garage messing with some of her stuff that's also related to our grandson, her son, and she was very protective of him. So we think that might have been a warning to him to stop bothering
her stuff.
Yes.
her stuff
his
and
stuff.
his stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
back
think it
off.
had anything to do with any kind of contact that Brenda had with him.
Yeah.
Brenda's not a psycho. She wasn't
No.
going to go over there, jump on his back, and take him down.
Yeah, because they also tried to tie that into the photo that TMZ took.
Yeah, that weird thing out in the desert, which kind of makes no sense, but
But
it's
our,
entertainment.
our thoughts is that Jay he messes so much with rituals and things of that nature. I almost feel like it's something that he had.
He has,
I-
yes.
I
agree
feel
with
like it was
that
something that
100%.
he had brought into the house, and whatever was in here did
Yes.
not want it here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And then why did they have to show the poor man throwing up in the kitchen sink? And if it was my kitchen sink, I would have been kind of mad. I've been like, there's toilets. Why are you throwing up in my kitchen sink?
Well, the funny thing is that Billy comes in all dramatic, like Jay just ran in here and threw up. And when you watch the video
Yeah.
back, because we've watched it a lot, right? He just kind of casually moseys into the kitchen and then throws up in the sink.
Well, here's my next thing. Why are you calling everybody in to watch this poor man throw up to begin with? Why are you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I just thought that was kind of odd. Oh, it's affected him so much that he has to throw up in your kitchen sink. I don't think so.
And to me, I think that kind of goes back to the question you asked about the land and kind of cross-contaminating. We did have another story about something that we helped a family with that we also believed was kind of a cross-contamination. So whatever spirit he may had on him, because he probably has all kinds of attachments that he's
Sure.
not aware of on a regular basis. So if he brought that here and it cross-contaminated not only with the Native American land here, but with whatever Leanne was protecting. And just to give people kind of an idea of who Leanne was autistic. I didn't know that really till later in life, and she had a sudden onset of mental health issues, and it kind of escalated. She became homeless. The state would not let me step in and help her, and they started kind of a war on homeless people and started sweeping them, moving them constantly. And she ended up getting hit by a car and passed away. So that's kind of the short version of Leanne and
We also
why she's not here.
believe that she may have had some of her own abilities and gifts.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like the way that she would talk, right? So, we know that Brenda has some of that stuff. Leanne had it. I'm pretty sure that all of the kids have a little something going
Yeah,
on.
Leanne was always very spiritual. She kind of had an old soul, and she used to stay by the river because the Sacramento is a big river through California. And when she was out there, she would tell me, Mom, I help souls cross over. And she would say, for every 3 souls that cross over, they take a soul. And just a few days before she got hit, she goes, "It's my turn." And I didn't think nothing about it, So,
Right.
she goes, "I'm next." And I'm like, "Well, whatever, Leanne. That's silly. You're
Don't
not
say
next."
things like that.
Yeah.
But then, I also had a dream about her the night before that I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. But I did get to see her that morning, and we talked. And 4 hours later, she was gone. So I had the dream. She called me. We talked. And then 4 hours later, she was gone. So I'm very fortunate in the fact that I got to make amends with her that day, which we did. So it's so weird that I didn't put all that together, you know.
Yeah, and then I mean, I think there was something that happened to you too, like a few days later when we were doing that kind of thing for the people out on the street. You were in the gas station,
Oh yeah,
and you.
she used to go to this one gas station, and her street boyfriend wanted me to take him to the store. We went into that store, and she was there for sure, absolutely, 100%. And I don't usually get messages. I'm an empath, but I'm not a psychic. So every once in a while, I'll get a message, and she gave me a message to give to him. And I go, you know, I told him, I go, well, this doesn't happen very often, so what I'm telling you is real, which still freaks me out.
Listen to me.
I freak myself
Listen to me
out.
when I tell you. Sometimes, yeah. It's rare, but it does happen.
Yeah.
I get that. So you had sent me the video, and you said it is up on your YouTube. But it's you guys just in your home, and you're on the floor, and you believe that she is there with you, which I completely believe. Um, and the equipment is going off, and then Ryan, I can hear it in your voice,
Hmm.
um, from what you saw, and I've I thought it was interesting because we've actually caught that exact same type of rope anomaly before.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Um, at least twice we have. And we have tried to analyze and analyze and analyze, and the best we could come up with is that was spirit trying to manifest.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So the
Absolutely.
fact that it moved, and it moved towards you, and it moved in
Hmm.
such a way, and you could hear your response, uh, you know, even though we can't see you, we can hear that it's affecting you. Like
Hmm.
she was there around you. Like you
Oh yeah.
can tell that you are feeling her energy. And then looking at you, Brenda, it made me sad though, because the look on your face was like, did you see that? Did you see that she's here? And then you wanted her so badly to keep, interacting with you, right? And it made me think, did she spend all of her energy showing you that little bit, right? That
Yeah.
she didn't have anymore? But no, I 100% believe that she was there and that she was showing you guys. And I mean, I don't know that message, what message she had for you. Maybe it was just that I am here.
Yeah.
But I thought it was such a special moment for both of you, and to be able to capture it, amazing.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
there's a lot in that video. If you watch that video and blow it up and put it in a program to where you can actually see it, that's not TV, not this is not your monitor.
right.
There's a lot going in that video. I had anomalies shooting in and out of me at different times. I wear
Hmm.
Leanne's rings that she was wearing when she was killed. Um, and it's hard to see, but at one point there's an anomaly that comes right to those rings and kind of floats around, and then it disappears. But there were also anomalies shooting into my back. But Leanne had also lost a baby. That was kind of, so to speak, the nail in the coffin when she kind of lost her marbles and we never got her back. I say it like that because I can't be so serious about it all the time.
Yeah.
But
Right. Right.
um, when we were first video catching all these anomalies, I started to see this that when there was one anomaly, and we hadn't put it together that it was totally Leanne yet. There was this one anomaly, and behind it there was always this other one that would follow it, and it was always kind of childlike,
Mm.
bouncing around like a child. So
Hmm.
in that
Hmm.
video, by the fish tank, that's the armchair of the love seat. When she came out of the carpet, if you look real close, you'll see that little anomaly bounce up like a kid playing hide and seek, and it follows her down
It
the
takes the
hallway.
exact same path. So where I'm
That's
standing,
fair.
I felt that energy go through my body, and I really don't know how to explain it other than it's like if you know, get the breath knocked out of you,
Hmm.
right? I
I know what you're
wasn't
talking about.
scared.
Hmm.
I just couldn't quite, like, I could breathe, right? I just couldn't quite get out what I wanted to say, right? It was just like
It's
disheveled, weird
Yeah,
feeling.
but it's comforting
And
and startling at the same time.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm looking at this live on the little tiny LCD screen of the
Hmm.
camera, right? And I'm reacting to it, and then I felt it hit me right through here, like it almost went like through, I guess, by my heart, I guess. I mean,
Hmm.
not in
Hmm.
my armpit, but like I felt it through my body. And behind me is the entrance to the hallway. And that's where a lot of our energy is in the hallway. That's where everything passes through, right? It's kind of the gateway to the house, to the bedrooms and everything. So when you watch that second childlike little light anomaly comes along, bounces along, and takes the same path.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
So,
we kind of equate that to being Hannah.
and then Ghost Adventures caught something very similar in the hallway. And then I have seen that same type of rope looking type thing in our garage. I had just turned the camera on. All I was doing was checking a infrared light that we had gotten. So I went to the darkest place at the time, which is in the garage.
Sure.
Right. I had no intention of like filming, investigating, nothing. I just opened the camera, turned it on, turned on the infrared light, and was looking at what it looked like, not recording anything. And I saw that same type of thing floating through
Anomaly.
the garage. And I'm like, dang, next time I'm always going to press record when I'm doing anything.
And Leanne used to stay in the garage a lot, so we had, because of
Kind
her
of a
mental health
makeshift
issues.
bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, she had a hard time being indoors. She would just lose her mind being indoors for too long. So we put a bed out there for her. So that was a path for her to the bathroom, down the hallway, to the garage, and back. So, I think that's just where she hangs out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So-
I agree. I watched that, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I think I had to rewind it, and I was like, it is, and I was like, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I want to say at least twice, but yeah, just to capture that. I mean, and no one, like, we put it out, like, have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever, and it was rare, right?
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of rope anomalies like that are caught. Usually it's, it's the round orbs or, you know, similar to that. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've
No, I
had
agree.
people want to call it cat hair, people that claim that they're experts. It's like, oh, all right, don't tell me that because I will not be happy with you.
And I'll be straight up and honest. I really don't care what people think, right? I know what I saw.
Yeah.
I know what I experienced. I know it's real.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe me. That's fine.
Nope.
And I'm not trying to make anybody believe me, but I know what we experienced. And it was real.
And you could hear it in your voice, Ryan. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just listen to you talk, you could hear it in your voice. So
And I would say that's funny because Ryan doesn't react to anything. Like, we don't anyways. I always say we're boring because we don't jump and get scared and go, oh my God.
Yeah, you can go back to what we were talking about before. I mean, I've been in fireman for a long time, right? So things don't freak me out, right?
Yeah.
So when they do, it's usually genuine.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I was kind of getting at earlier when you guys are so calm and cool and collected when you go into things, and I'm watching this and I'm listening and I can hear it. And I'm like, okay, this is really something because you can tell the inflection and it's different. And I'm like, all right, no, I believe I was 100%. I'm like, I get it. I'm there.
Yeah. And our house is fairly active. I've never can say that I've been touched except one time, and that was in my bedroom. And it was in the middle of the night. And I couldn't sleep, and I had my legs crossed. And it wasn't like I could feel the squeeze, but somebody put their hand on my knee and shook my knee really hard. And he's sleeping, and of course my arm goes, smack! And
I think I felt it more than she did when she hit me in the chest.
But I had never been touched or grabbed like that before. It was the weirdest thing,
Yeah.
It was so weird.
It's startling. Yeah. Yeah. I remember the first time I was touched, I was like, what the? And a whole bunch of explicits. And I kind of stood there and I had to get it together because did that just happen? Did that really just happen? Yeah. So I get that.
Yeah. It's a different feeling when you get touched like that. The only time I've ever been actually touched was in Zach's museum.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever actually been touched by anything. So,
I have my thoughts on that place. I don't know if I'll be able to go in there. I want to, but I don't know if I could.
It's actually it's a very cool place. I was a little hesitant, and going in there was a lot of energy. Absolutely.
You have to be prepared. You definitely have to be on your game to go in a place like that.
But the things we thought were going to be scary had nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was when you least expect it.
Yeah, I was expecting.
See, and that's the ones.
Yeah, I was expecting the basement that has the pentagram on the floor and all to be like the most crazy thing, and I was just kind of like boring down there.
Yeah.
But then walking through next to Jack Kevorkian's van, then you get poked in the back, and you're like, what the?
Yeah.
I wondered if it was him.
Yeah, and we heard a disembodied scream. There's a hallway there that has opposing mirrors, and we heard, and it was like, that's probably one time we did react a little bit because it was like, because as first responders, we respond to screams, like that.
Yes.
It was definitely like a distant, disembodied, like, please help me scream. And it kind of freaked us out. And
Yes.
we're like, you
Well,
wanted to
sure.
run to it. Well, we did. Because you want to help.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
somebody's screaming. And that was really weird. But I think we had a lot of, I would almost say, it's safe to say that we may have brought something back here from the Dybbuk's box.
Mm.
Even though it's enclosed and all that, we had some experience.
And I have some thoughts. I don't necessarily think it was something bad. I don't think it was I don't think it was actually an entity of any sort or a spirit. I think it was energy. Not in the form of like an actual spirit. I think just the energy that place put off in that room, that coupled with the stuff going on in our personal lives, coupled with the past deaths in our family, the past deaths in this house, all that energy kind of was just like the perfect storm
Yeah.
to kind of create some chaos in our house at the time.
Time and place. I agree with that 100%.
Because it hasn't been that way since. Like we kind of did some cleansing and did some different things, and it hasn't been like that again.
Since then.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of things the other day, and they were talking about how they had to cleanse the entire house, and they wanted to remove elementals, and I thought, why?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why? I guess in my mind, I'm thinking elementals. It's their land, right? It's theirs.
Absolutely.
Do we just respect that and let them be? Because
Absolutely.
But then I'm thinking, on the flip side, are they hurting you? Are they bothering you in some way? And that would be the only way I think that you would want to. But can you even remove an elemental? Honestly.
Yeah, I think when it was all done, he did do some cleansing a little bit. He did some Palo Santo around the house and stuff like that. And, we did get to talk to Zach after that to kind of take a step back because people always ask us how Zach is. Off camera, off his recording for his show, he was very concerned for us and gave us some very valid and good advice. And saying that, we have an acquaintance. I don't know if you're familiar with Sean Klin. He's a Native American. He's a Navajo. He has a show. I think it's called Sean Klin
Shadow Productions.
So if you're really interested in the Native American folklore, he's an awesome channel. You got to go watch him. But he agrees that cleansing is not always the best thing. It's more giving an offering. Like in their culture, it's like giving a tobacco offering. And we've done that one time for a family.
Yes.
So
and I do believe after being educated by Sean Klin about some of the specific, Navajo, all Native traditions are a little bit different, but they all kind of share a very common thing, which is the offering. And also when you cleanse things with smoke, right? The different smoke do different things. Sage, Palo Santo are the most commonly used. They're supposed to ward off bad things, right? But in reality, really what it does is just keep bad things from coming.
Yes.
Right?
So it's more like a put them to sleep, right? Or put them, not necessarily asleep, but you're just putting on pause, right?
Yeah, it's not going to kick things out per se, but it can, right? But the problem is maybe, and how he described it is, what if you have something good that's using the walls of your house to hide from something bad that's outside? Right? And if you go through and do all this smoke cleansing and you push everything, you just, deep clean it, push everything out there, you might be pushing this good thing to a horrible fate somewhere else. Right? So you really have to pay attention. And cleansing isn't like, you have to know what you're doing, right? So I think it's more about the intent that you have and how you go about doing things, the way you say things, what you do. I want the bad stuff to go away and to leave us alone, the good stuff can stay, right?
Sure. Yeah. No, I agree. So, and it kind of makes me think too, like, all right, so I'm that weenie that loves animals, and I even hate to see like the deer hit on the side of the road. Like I always, and my Eric's like, stupid deer, he's, and we just lost, he ran into one and we had to get a new vehicle last year, but I'm still like, when I see it, I'm like, poor deer. Like I always feel bad when I see, but in my mind, I'm thinking they were here first, right?
Yeah.
Like we infringed upon them. So what would be the difference with spirits, right? They were
Yeah.
here first, right? And we're infringing upon them. So that's how I kind of try to rationalize that in my mind. I'm like, why they're here before us, and we're trying to take what was theirs. I don't
I
know.
kind
Yeah.
of feel that the cleansing should be more of like trying to live in harmony,
Yeah.
trying to just come
Yes.
to an
Yes.
understanding that we can all exist in the same space, right? Because in the spiritual world, dimensional world, however people believe, it's kind of infinite,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in this room we're sitting in, there could be a million different spiritual energies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all swirling around, and
At this. Yep.
99.9% of them will never make themselves known, right? Because they're just doing their
Yep.
thing.
And we've
I
done
think that.
more house calls than we have had locations, and I think the cleansing has to do with the people, like the people in the house. A couple of the locations we've done, the family was very it was a great dynamic, and they were making poor choices, and they were fighting and not getting along, and depending on why they're calling you to the house and the history of the
Yeah.
house will be dependent on the negativity in the house. So once you change yourself and maybe stop
Yep.
figuring out why you're being so negative towards each other and what the conflict is in the house, the other stuff that seems so weird that might be just opening that door for negativity, whether it's a spirit or
Yes.
not, needs to be repaired before anything. So would
Exactly.
a cleansing really work if your relationship is
Yeah,
not
I mean,
good?
the whole idea of like what they call it, the power of perception, right? If you believe something, it'll come true. And if you're just going to live your life arguing and being mad all the time, then it's going to be kind of dark, weird stuff around you. But if you try to have some positivity once in a while, then it helps. Doesn't mean it's easy. Everyone has different lives and everyone has different stresses, and it's not easy to always live that way. But I think that's how the spirits are. If it's just nothing but kind of bad, negative stuff around, then there'll be some bad, negative spirits that could potentially influence you.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be positive, then maybe you'll get some positive influence.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And you also have
And
to
I
decide, are these people having a mental health issue? We have turned down
yes.
investigations recently in Mount Shasta due to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
obviously, as medical professionals that respond to these types of calls on a regular basis, we're a little bit more well equipped to recognize and go, oh, yeah, there's
Sure.
something else going on. It's not.
Yeah.
Now, could there be some paranormal elements to what they're experiencing? Absolutely, just like what we talked about, the power of perception. But, I think you have to be very careful when you go into some of these people's houses, what they're saying.
Yeah. 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 So for that reason, we don't really go into homes anymore. We did we did a couple years ago, and it was very interesting to say the least. But and that was probably one of the reasons why we stopped going in to do private residence.
Yeah. And for
Because
most
of that.
people getting into this, yes, I would, we have that background. So it doesn't really scare us to do that because we know what to look for and what to watch for. But yeah, if you're doing this for the first time, don't.
Yeah.
Just
No.
just don't.
And I do believe
Yeah.
the comment that just popped up. I do believe
Yes.
that when you have mental health issues, I think that the way that your brain chemistry does open you
Yeah.
up to more things because the conscious thought of being able to push it away is not there. You don't have that ability to kind of have, for lack of better terms, common sense, right? Just to a certain point. Right. So people that are schizophrenic, people that are like crazy bipolar have experienced massive amounts of trauma.
Yeah.
Your brain chemistry is different and it can open you up to different paranormal things.
Yeah. And I think my daughter
Around
was
you.
very, very open to that. We lived in a haunted house, and I believe that's when my daughter really started to deteriorate. This was before we even watched Ghosts of It. We weren't even into
Yeah,
ghost stuff.
we had no idea. I mean, looking back in time at those experiences, it was actually pretty profound, but we were kind of, blind to it because we weren't educated, we weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we just weren't into
And
it. Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like that. Like another conversation that Eric and we've had with the closed mind, right? If you open your mind to it and it's this whole new world, well, some people don't want to deal with that, right? They don't want to. That's why they won't accept it or they won't open their mind to those possibilities, right? So I get it and I don't. I mean, I could see it and I can respect it, but then I don't. I'm like, why not? Why would you not want this? Why? I mean, I think every single person I've known has had an experience that you can't explain.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's whether you want to figure out why or where it came from or how, right?
And,
So do you pursue
and it
it?
kind of sits on their biblical belief system too. You know,
Yes.
when we get boxed into this is how it is and this is all we can believe in, and then you live in
Mm,
that box, you're not going to think that it's
You're not going to
anything
allow
else.
yourself to believe or understand the other things that are happening
Yeah.
around you, right? And a lot of
right.
people, when they have fear and get scared of something, they're going to discount it as everything's just bad because they don't understand it. And the understanding is the non-understanding is the fear, right? Because
Yes.
they don't get
Yes.
it. I mean, the guys I work with on my engine, I will point out things all the time and go, "Hey, did you notice that? That's absolutely paranormal related." And at first, like, "Don't tell me that. I'm not going to do that." The station that I work out of 100% has energy in it, right? And I point it out all the time, and it's like, "Don't, no, now that I'm scared and sleep with the lights on." And it's like, but now it's to the point now where they've kind of accepted it and embraced it, and we laugh about it, and you know, so they've grown to accept it and appreciate it. So it's not scary anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I mean, you just have to, the more you look at it, the more you things you research and do, then it's not
Hmm.
so scary. But I'm not saying that things can't scare us, and
Oh yes.
because they absolutely can.
I still get nervous in my own house. Like I still cover my head up at nighttime sometimes. Like I'll go nights without, I'd be okay, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, I'm really scared tonight. I don't hide under my blanket. I'm just gonna fall asleep really quick.
Girl,
Well,
I
it
still
also
tuck my
goes to the
feet.
it also goes to the point too that the people that do this and expose themselves and experience and really research and want to learn paranormal things and spiritual things, um, you get to that point to where the the acceptance of it, where it takes the fear away. Um, it actually, the things that are bad and scary, it makes more sense. So when you do experience those things, you're like, okay, now I know. Now I know that was actually not good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I like that answer. I think that's a great answer. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions before we wrap this up, but I got to know the way that you guys look at paranormal and you perceive it. Is the, is there content out there that makes you roll your eyes and just be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yes.
Uh,
There
Yes.
is, yes, and I try to expose myself and watch some of it, and I'll get 5 seconds into it, like, nope, I'm not even going to waste my time.
Yeah, do
So
it.
I couldn't tell you names of people, names of channels, anything. I don't even once I've realized that I'm not going to connect with them. I don't think they're doing the right thing. I'm not gonna put any time
Mm-mm.
into it. And someone that we actually had on our podcast is Chaos.
Chaos theory.
Chaos Theory, he's a debunker, right? And at first I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, debunkers I'm not a big fan of because they just want to, most of them just want to,
Mhm.
everything's bad, right? Everything's fake.
Mhm.
This guy
Mhm.
isn't. And I kind of took some of the approaches that he had and opened my mind up, just like people need to open their mind up to paranormal being real. I have to open my mind up to experience some of those other people. But yes, there's a lot of things that just make me roll my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys talk amongst each other and be like, "Do you see this? Are you kidding me right now?"
Yeah. All the time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
I
Because
think I'm more that way with psychics. I think psychics bother me the most. You have the young kids that have the young groups, and of course, that's how they get their friends to bite. They want to see the well, yeah, chaos. He
Mm-hmm.
described it as the car crash. A lot of people that's all they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
When we do our
Yes.
videos and we don't get that many views, we're like, am I just wasting my time, or do people
Oh,
really want to see this? But I'm going to still continue to do what I do because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
yes. I
Yeah.
mean, we could get 2 views, 1 view, it doesn't matter. I mean, this
Yeah,
is what we love to do, right? And we know it's real, and we're
yeah,
not out there trying to, run up and down halls and have, 87-hour lives on TikTok. I mean, that's just not what we
Yeah.
do. I mean, that's
yeah.
some people love it, right? And if it's for the younger generation, I get it. I understand it, right? It's just not what we do. And then I'm thinking, are we just the old fuddy-duddies that just don't get it? Like,
I honestly get bored on investigations. I'm like, if there's, I don't know how they do that and act so excited for 8 hours. I'm like, I'm 3 hours into it, and I'm like, all right, something's got to
yes,
change here.
Well, I've got a
yes.
little bit of a theory that it's like when people go and they're literally live for that long, and then they're getting all these crazy hits on stuff for 8 hours at a time, and you're like, there's something not right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I think that sometimes your cell phone can influence some of the equipment you use, and that's why,
Absolutely.
the whole idea of ethical investigations and doing things kind of like with a little bit of a scientific process
Yes.
means a lot to true paranormal investigators, right? Otherwise, you're just a TikTok ghost hunter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of different level.
Just repeating scream and yell demons and portals. It
Yeah.
sells.
Yeah.
It does. It's
That's a good shirt.
pain. Oh, yeah. It's called cocaine, Brenda. Oh man.
But when you get those
I'm telling you.
investigations with that good hit of something, it just revitalizes the night and allows you to kind of
Yes.
refocus. It can go from super boring to all of a sudden we're done already.
Yeah.
Where did the time go? Yes. Because that adrenaline hits you once you had something happen and you're like, okay, let's do it. That's all about it, Otherwise at 2 or 3 a.m. we're like, I'm tired. Like
There's also something to be said about the actual true anatomy and physiology of the human body and how it's affected by energy, right? You have I'll try not to bore people with too much crazy medical lingo, but the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, right? The adrenaline goes up, your eyes dilate, you get stronger. Moms can pick cars up off kids because of it, right? When you're in a very active place and you're getting those hits and the goosebumps are coming up and you're having that energy affect you, your sympathetic nervous system is on overdrive. So when it starts to calm down, you're out of energy. You're tired, right? So those of us that do this a lot, we go in these places and like, man, I'm bored, I'm tired. Well, it's because maybe you need to stop for a minute. What's actually happening? Where is the energy? What am I feeling? Because walking through the hallway, oh, it's just goosebumps on my arm. But doing that for 3 hours, that's your nervous system on overdrive. So sometimes it's like, let's regroup over here and reset up and see if we can find something different.
Yep. And I think that is your paranormal hangover for like the next day, right?
Yeah.
Because you put
Absolutely.
yourself through so much of that. And we've all seen it. Like some investigations, I'm good the next day. It wasn't a whole lot of energy. And some of them, I'm like, holy, like this last one, it took me till yesterday, I think, to start not be so tired, because it's just so much energy around you and the ups and the downs. And
And I
That's
think
a
the
real
last
thing.
one we did in Cottonwood, there was like this big burst of a lot of crazy energy and feelings and stuff happening, and then it all kind of went away, and like we were done. We were
done.
physically, emotionally exhausted by the end of the night, but the next day we were fine. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was a weird one because that was in Cottonwood. We just did that this weekend, and we've been there before, but they had done some remodeling. But I have never lost my balance in a building. It was the weirdest thing, and it was draining. And that literally just standing there almost fell down like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's like I'm either really getting old or there's something really wrong with this house. maybe it's a little of both.
It's just, I could just fall anywhere. It doesn't matter. I trip over things. So, all right. Real quick. So do you use equipment very I saw you have the SB7 and the REM pod, but do you like to use equipment or would you rather just go in with like your camera and your body?
Our go-to is we have a go bag. So we have our SV7, one recorder and one camera. And that's kind of our go-to. We mess around with the Ovilus a little bit. I'm not real sold on that, but every once in a while, like this last weekend, we had it out and we were sitting there and we were hitting some stuff and I touched my hair like this. Like, it wasn't like this. I actually was doing this and it said hair. So it's kind of weird that popped up. So, but our go-to is a SB7 and a recorder and just ourselves.
Nice.
We did mess around with the SLS camera this weekend, which we had more hits on it than we ever have. That's another piece I'm not real super sold on. But I think less is more, and it's just fun to play with the gadgets. I mean, we own almost every Gary Golka piece of equipment, and I love his stuff. And I love to watch him.
Yeah.
But, we just have our basics is better,
I get it. Totally understand. Yeah.
I think
we
Ryan would agree.
Yes. Less is more.
And we built our own, what do you call that, Echo Box?
It's a portal box. you can buy those little portal boxes and stuff, and I'm not convinced on them. But it's like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make my own.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
not super tech person. I didn't solder things together, but it's like, I'm not just going to buy the generic thing. So I went out and got a good amplifier and a good, switches and all the things that I needed to make it and built our own. It works. I'm not convinced entirely, right? You have to tune it in right. And just like everything equipment wise, you have to really know how to use it. So it's probably going to take another 4 or 5 investigations of playing with it before you can really say that it's working like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Get it to where you want it. Yeah. All right. I agree. Tell us what do you guys have coming up? I know Brenda, you kind of told me that things were kind of starting to heat up a little bit out there. What do you have planned on your calendar?
We have another look. We did the American Legion, and I got a text out of the blue that they're starting to see full body apparitions, which is kind of weird.
Oh.
So we'll probably go back down there. We did throw out a thing about Bigfoot that we were going to check it because we're just an hour and a half from Willow Creek. They have a Bigfoot thing that we're supposed to be able to go catch up with the expert.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to go hit that and try to figure out what we can do with that story. We did get some skinny on the documentary that they dropped but didn't drop. So
yeah, for the for the Bigfoot fans out there, Willow Creek is where the original Patterson Gilman video was shot in 1967, right? And that's a couple hours away.
Yeah.
So we went and checked out the area, checked out the museum they have, and talked to a few people, and we're going to go back and pursue that further.
And then we've been into the Book of Enoch, and have some very interesting theories that we're going to share. It's just we're trying to figure out how to put it together because that's, we don't want to get...
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, we don't want to get too much into the biblical side of...
Right.
But it's more of a conversation, not for us to debate religion. So we're all wanting to know where we go from here, and there's some interesting stuff out there. So we're going to share that. We're going to put that together soon.
Cool. I'm very, very interested to hear your take on it and what your opinion is, because isn't it all opinion based, right?
Yep.
You read it and you form your own opinion. So I'll be watching for that. Well, good. And where can everyone find you guys? If I know you have your TikTok, you guys are. Yeah, you are. Yeah.
We started a TikTok.
We finally made it to TikTok.
We finally made it. One of them was kind of one we started a long time ago. We never did much with. So now we got this new one. It's going, getting quite a few hits on it.
Yeah,
People are doing stuff.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and we have a webpage, www.paranormaltriage.com.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good. Go follow these guys. They have some really neat content, and I really like their theories and how they approach the paranormal. So I enjoy them, and I enjoy listening to them because they.
Yeah.
And Ryan just has this voice of like calm and soothing, and Brenda, she's like, how would I describe you?
I used to have a better voice, but I lost it.
Were you yelling at Ryan too much?
I don't know. I lost it right before COVID hit. I used to sing, and for some reason my vocal cords are swollen, and now I have an old lady smoker's voice. I sound like my mother now.
I've been told I should narrate books on tape, but I don't know.
I think you should. I really do. I think you should. Eric jokes he went to a Chiefs game and he can never sing as high as he used to after he came home from the Chiefs game. So I totally get it. And that was years ago. So I understand.
Yeah.
I think the fire service might have something to do with it.
Maybe.
Honestly.
I don't know. I really like to sing, so it's a bummer because I don't have mid-range to sing anymore. I can't karaoke anymore.
Sing it anyway.
I do. I sound like Peter Brady. When he was going through puberty.
Who cares? Sing it anyway. If it makes you happy, sing. That's what I say. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate we had a great night, great conversation. We'll have to do this again. I'm thinking this fall we should recap the summer and
absolutely
catch back up and do it all over again because I really enjoy you guys. It's a lot of fun, and Eric and I will come on and we'll do a recap again
absolutely
over our crazy year.
Good.
So
cool.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a great night. And again, thanks for joining. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.